Sports lovers, welcome back to another episode of Global Sports from a Caribbean perspective, the home of in-depth analysis, real conversations, and everything football in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today's episode is a special one because for the first time this season, we're not going to just be talking about goals, tactics, or results. We're going to be talking about decisions. And by decisions, I mean refereeing decisions. The opening 2 weeks of the Vinci Soccer Premier League has given us drama, controversy, and talking points. And naturally, questions surrounding the referee that have made major impacts on matches, coaches, players, and supporters alike. So instead of speculating, we went straight to the source. Joining us today, and potentially on a weekly basis throughout the season, is one of the most senior, qualified, and experienced football officials that we have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He is the local referee instructor, also a FIFA/CONCACAF CFU refereeing assistant, and someone who has officiated and instructed at the highest level of the game in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and throughout the region. We are very pleased to welcome Mr. Clemroy Bert Francois to the podcast. Mr. Francois, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Anytime. So before we dive into any specific incidents, we just want to set the tone for the listeners today. This segment isn't about attacking the referees. It's about education, clarity, and understanding. Football laws are complex, interpretations matter, and emotions run high, especially in a competitive league like the Vinci Soccer Premier League. So today, we'll talk through some of the major decisions from the first 2 weekends of the VSPL and get Mr. Francois' expert interpretation. Hopefully, fans, players, and coaches understand what the referees are seeing in real time. So we'll start with the first incident that took place in the Chelsea versus Hope game from the opening weekend. Chelsea had a goal disallowed, a decision that caused a lot of controversy. Following the decision, Chelsea's head coach, Kenton was dismissed after loudly remonstrating with the officials and had to be removed by laughing forceps. So my question for you, Mr. Francois, right, from a refereeing standpoint, was the decision to allow the goal correct based on the laws and positioning? And following Wilson's dismissal, at what point does dissent from a coach cross the line to get him sent off? So tell me about the goal first, and then
okay, so we look at I want us to look at the replay. There are several things there that needed adjustment. One, so if you look here, you can see this is where the player kicks the ball, all right? And the controversy came about it. So let's zoom in. Okay, so we'll zoom into that area. As you look at, okay, so if we look in, here's where the problem lies. Because see clearly ball going over the crossbar, right? So somewhere the ball got back into the goal. I don't know if there was a hole in the top of the net, but you can see clearly the ball did go over.
Right, but you would understand Kenton's frustration seeing his team were under pressure. They were fighting for equalizer, and from afar you would see not the ball under the net. So in terms of the potential hole, what may have led to the ball dropping into the net, and those checks supposed to be done.
Yes, I saw some videos. I don't know if they are correct in terms with some holes in the top of the net. We're talking Vinci Premier.
Yeah.
So I don't expect that to be correct. True. So I'm hoping, that is not a fact.
But that's something that definitely needs to be addressed, in the future.
If you notice, within actually they put strap in them and they keep pulling them to show the ball cannot drop it right from the back, because what people will see is the net shake and the ball in the goal. You don't have this technology that we could zoom in.
That's fair.
Right. In terms of the coach reaction, you see, I understand football is an emotional game and the referees have to understand emotion, but there's a level to which we have to protect the image of the game.
True.
And a coach leaving the technical area to go to the area, any of the officials is automatically a red card.
I understand. Given the manner of his behavior and the protest, should we expect any disciplinary actions for Mr. Wilson?
Beyond that, well, that would have to be the federation. That's ultimately what, But I would say to you, though, in terms of the mechanisms, the AR should have gone with the flag.
Right.
Kept it up.
Yes, it's not referee.
Right. And then they referred to realize something wrong. Then he should have pointed to a goal kick. And that's it. But there was some hesitation on the part of the officials too, I must admit, and that created some of the chaos. They got it right and eventually.
Yeah, the decision itself, but you could understand what led to Mr. Wilson's frustration. So let's move on to the second incident. This incident took place on Friday at Independence Bar between System 3 and Jebel, where there were 2 penalty incidents, both involving System 3. One penalty was awarded while the second was waved away, and immediately after that, Jebel went down the other end and scored. Could you break down the difference between the 2 incidents from a lot interpretation standpoint?
Well, I didn't have the first but right. But I look at the second clip, and we could argue that it is subjective to some extent. So let us look at that. Here is the incident. The referee has a fairly clear view. The players, and as you could see, the 2 players challenged the ball.
This is the one that was not given. This is the one that was not given.
Right. So this is just about inside this area. The player went down, his teammates obviously appeared, and resulting from this,
Jebel went and scored.
Normally, if you have a VAR,
the videos.
VAR, once a goal is scored, VAR look at what we call the APP, attacking phase of play.
True.
So what happened before the attack? So in this case, you would have had that look to see if it was a foul, in which case you would have advised the referee, come on out and look and decide. But
so that was definitely a mistake on the referee's part. They could not award the penalty, you say?
No, I'm saying that
this one,
you decide whether it's a foul.
Because it's up to interpretation.
Right.
But what the contact? You would admit there's contact.
Yeah, there is contact, but football is a contact sport.
Fair.
This decision is that clear.
It's not necessarily clear and obvious.
It's not clear and obvious. There is some contact, it's a contact force, so I could understand the controversy, but it's not clear in terms of this video.
Okay, so my next question from this game, because this also with the clip that took place in the 90th minute where System 3 equalized, right? It's also a subjective decision. So how important is consistency when making these types of decisions?
Very important. So if you see similar things happen, the referee either give or don't give her, then we have that consistency. So you need to be consistent because each team need to feel that you're having a fair deal.
True.
That the referee, okay, do it call up for us, he didn't call up for them either. So it is very important.
True. And that game ended at 3 also. We saw how the referee and his decisions affected the result there. Let's move on to the third incident of the weekend where another coach was dismissed and there was a disallowed goal for the Leeward Predators who took on Leigh. Cortland Williams had a goal disallowed for what was adjudged to be a handball. Shortly after, Leeward Predators coach Williams was sent off, making this the second coach dismissed this early this season as we stated. Was the handball offense clear under the laws of the game? Because
okay, so again, we look at it. The law clearly states if the football does not recognize the hand, and we don't want goals going from the hand in any way. Now the law clearly states if the ball hits, even if it's accidental, an attacker, and he immediately scores after that, then the goal must be disallowed.
True.
If it hit my hand, then it goes for you, it goes to cameraman, it goes to somebody else. That's not the same case. But if it hit my hand, bounce, and then I shoot,
most definitely has so it if disallowed.
So if we let us look at what happened here. So here's the player. As you can see, the ball did bounce and hit the hand there.
Yeah, slapped on us.
And you can decide whether to see immediately scores. Brilliant goal. I should say brilliant shot to goal, but
I would say because I was at the park and in real time, that was so quick. It was very difficult to tell what actually took place, right? But I was simultaneously looking at replays and the VC3 stream, and I saw what happened. I slowed it down and took a look at it. But in real time, I'm saying that's very difficult to get right. And credit to the official for calling.
So I think
credit to the official for calling.
This is one of our better films, Mr. Gates, and In this case, he got it right.
He blew the whistle a bit late because the ball was in the net a few seconds before he blew the whistle. If you listen back to the commentary, you hear that the whistle was blown fairly late, but it was the right call in the end.
But if we look at this thing almost in one motion, it's just a couple of seconds.
Exactly.
The referee, if the ball hit the player hand, should wait.
Fair
because if it hit my hand and then I go pass to somebody else, then it's okay because it was accidental.
Accidentally. It wasn't an intentional.
I guess that may have been the delay to see what happened.
Fair. With Mr. Williams being the second coach sent off, is there a concern when multiple coaches are being sent off, or does that simply reflect an enforcing of
I think what is happening is that the coaches are letting the emotions get the better. In that second case, there was an incident. The coach left his technical area, and that's where they need to be aware of, and go to the official. That in itself could be a red card offense.
Sure, especially when you go with Nanda.
Right, he was given the yellow card by the official, and then subsequently made a comment which can be bordered and insulting or
disrespect.
But dissent. So quite obviously, referee have to trim up.
So
there's a difference. Let me quickly say,
sure.
in terms of your relationship. So you are the coach, and you come to me and you say, "Hey, referee, man, why you doing that?" But it's between us. It's not a public thing. So I may say, you know what, let me manage this and say, "Hey, relax, back." But if you stay all over there and you carry on a whole public say you're disrespecting the referee have no chance.
True. And that's fair. That's only fair because just like you said, the coaches seem to be better the emotions.
It depends on you when you coach the referee and how you do it.
That's so true. True.
Remember, as we started the program, we said it's an emotional sport.
Yeah.
The referees know it's emotional. If the score is 2-2 and the referee gave a penalty, it's obviously the team that concede the penalty. There will be some reaction. But that reaction, emotional, is different from if you cross about it.
That's fair, and that's totally fair. So we'd say that both coaches that have been sent off thus far have been right for the sent off. So just hopefully this consistency remains throughout the entire season.
True.
So we'll move on to the fourth incident of the weekend that took place in the International versus Bequia United game. Valor Anderson scored a goal that sparked debate about whether he was offside, and later on in the match, Ethan Snag had a goal that was not allowed, with questions about whether the ball crossed the line or not. So let's discuss the Valor Anderson.
So we'll see Valor again. This is the play. This is Valor, and you could see his position. So let's look at the precise moment when this ball is played to him, which is about now. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Valor?
He's right on top of the 18-yard line right there.
So where's this defender?
Very difficult to tell where he is in line with. But if I were to make a judgment, to be very honest, he seems to be in front of the 18-yard area.
If we look at it, so the teaching, again, to any match official is that if there is any doubt, you give the benefit to the attacking team.
Okay.
If there is a VAR in it, then the VAR will come in and deal with it.
The problem with this, right? And it's something that we've discussed off camera on our program and, just in regular discussion. There's only one camera angle. So this is not conclusive to say that,
So we use the lines on the field. And we use the lines on the field. There's Valdo. There's the defender. There's Valdo. Can you say with certainty that Valdo is beyond him?
Boy, it's difficult. It's difficult, especially
if it's difficult, then you have to give the benefit of the doubt. To me, it's clear using the mark on the field that Valdo is onside. To me,
onside.
Yes, but if it's not clear to you, then
they would understand where.
You have to give the benefit of the attacker.
That's fair.
So, But remember, if we're looking at football, the speed of the ball is speeding to it. So if we continue, you'll see by the time Valor get the ball, he's way clear everybody else. So that's why it looks so.
Subjective, very subjective, and like we said, not necessarily 100% conclusive. So I understand there are challenges with the officiating that are out of the officials' control, just like what we mentioned about there's only one handle and they don't have access to technology to go back and check. So whatever decision is made is final. But I just think that one was offside, to be honest.
So, to be fair, that's why we have a referee, and as I say, the referee decision
It's final.
is final unless we have a VAR.
Correct. So let's move on to eat and snacks goal that was not allowed. Well, so I shouldn't call it a disallowed goal. It was an effort that was not allowed.
So again, we'll try and zoom in, try and get the benefit of the doubt. That's why it's struck because VAR.
Right. So when it's because
So let's see on the downside now, if we could see that ball right there.
we can't say for sure.
Look at if it bounced.
We can't say for sure that didn't cross the line fully.
Where's the referee?
The referee is well placed. The referee is well placed.
This video don't show us, but the AR was right now.
True.
So in this case, and again, if you look at it,
Because that was going to be my next question. How important are the assistant referees and
Very
in terms of getting these calls?
that is one of the things that you grade a referee. The ability. Because in the training, there's what you call a 10 yards sprint, what you do. And that is because with the ball, you have to get down to make these decisions.
Sure.
These are critical line decisions. Is it a goal? Is it not goal?
Yeah, those are decisions.
And if we don't have the technology, then the referee have to decide. And if the assistant referee is in line, we have to give them the benefit of that.
I was having a discussion the other day with some friends about the officials that used to be by the side of the goal. They would have lines, but they have officials that whatever happened to those guys? Are those officials no longer the players? Because especially, I know they would probably have been doubted of because of the introduction of VAR. But in the countries like Simmons, where VAR isn't a big, in your opinion, isn't that something you think that could help with decisions such as that?
I don't know if we need to go back there because at least you need probably 4 or another 2
hands.
officials there, and still subjective.
True that.
Will still be subjective. The important thing is that the referee get down and the assistant referee get down for these shots, and now he'll be judged from that. So.
Fair. So let's move on to the fifth and final incident. Finally, a different type of controversy, though, not necessarily about a particular decision that was made, but more so about the organization, right? Because it may have been a small or minor detail, but it's something that I noticed as a fan, a regular goer of Vince's Soccer Premier League over the years. So, Camdonia Chelsea, right? We know they're a team known for playing in blue, right? Whatever shade of blue it may be. So it was a shock to me to see that the officials were lining up in a kit that was very much similar to Chelsea's kit as well. And they started the game like that as well. I even was sitting close to one of the linesmen and asked him, in Vincent Chancellor, you see, you look just like one of the Chelsea players. And he was like, his reaction was to be like, what can I do about that? That was his kind of reaction. So my question, right? Who is ultimately responsible for kit colors, ensuring kit colors are correct before kickoff?
Well, answer the organizers. The organizers supposed to, ascertain what colors the teams are. Make that information available to whoever assigned the referees. And based on the colors of the team, then they suggest to the referees what color they should work with. The teaching is that even if you are assigned blue, you work with all your kits. When the fourth official goes to the dressing room, he should have on his kit. So when he goes to the dressing room to check the team, immediately there should be recognized that my kit will not be proper. He goes back to the dressing room and advises colleagues and will make a change. That is what's supposed to happen. I didn't know what happened in this case. I wasn't there. But that is what should happen. Immediately as you come out, you see the contrast to make the change.
But that is disappointing to hear, to know that the procedures that should be in place were not followed in this instance, right? And if we're trying to be,
I don't know if they'll follow.
no, they clear
Maybe
they clear
the fourth official, in his judgment, thought it was not a problem. But when everybody gathered together, then it became a problem.
Should the match have even been allowed to start in the first place?
Because if the referees think it's not a problem, but as I said, there is time. That's why we have checks and countdown to give any adjustment. That is
Because the game eventually started and about
today we had a game.
similar to that as well.
No, but the ball noise and the referees were in the same class.
Oh.
So when you look over, you see like three AR. That adjustment was made. So these things do happen.
Right.
And again, it's important. For television, blue is not always blue.
True.
So when you're looking at it here, clearly see the referee are you. But if the team have on black, when you watch the television, everybody might, the referee and the team might look like the same color on the television. So these things you have to take into consideration. And quite clearly, because I heard a lot of things about the colors, it should have been adjusted. Yes, definitely.
And final question, are there any regulations or any type of sanctions / punishments for situations like that, giving the disruption to the game? Because the game eventually started and they had to stop pause the game for 5 minutes.
I don't know if there's any sanctions, but as I say, the referees and the assignment that the referees should have double checked that. And then the referees are to check that. A referee is great on several things, not just his on-field performance, but his off-field, his preparation. And that, yes, should have been checked and adjusted.
Okay. Those are all of the major talking points from the first 2 weekends of the VSPL Soccer Premier League, where we had some controversial moments and some petty moments as well, I would mention. So just zooming out now, there has been a lot of controversy and inconsistency in refereeing, right? So I just want to ask from an instructor's perspective, how would you, in your opinion, assess the overall referee performance of the referees thus far this season in the VSPL?
We have, we were not consistent. That much I will say. And there's a lot of areas for improvement. I would admit to you that, having been a coach, when you put in a lot of, you want to lose on the field or want to lose by a referee decision. But in the World Cup, we have those controversy because, I mean, only you want. And the referees have to lift the game as we go along. One of the things you haven't mentioned, but I'll see here, sure. The first thing I said in the program is that football is an emotional game. And the referees have to learn to manage the players and the coach, not react. So I come in outfield because you talk to be hard. We have to. Yeah. Situations where you could calm the players, try and calm them down first. I don't think, man, referee doing. Yeah. We have to judge. Did he say it in a disrespectful way? Or did he say it in an emotional way? So I'm going to go on. And I think a man for me, the referee said, I foul as a penalty. That is emotion.
Yeah, that's emotion.
The kid say, come here. No, it's emotions. Likewise, the man who make the tackle and he gave the penalty might jump up and say, referee man. Might say, man, referee crazy. How did he say it? Did he say it in emotion or did he say, man, referee crazy? Yeah. It's a difference, eh? Sure. So we have to, as officials, learn to manage our emotions, to realize the game is an emotional game and deal with it. I will say something vague. Sure. Nobody pays to come and see the ref. If the wife or the girlfriend come, they come in free. So nobody pays to come and see the referee. Don't steal the show. It's not your show.
You heard that, officials. And this is not just for seniors, this is a worldwide football thing. Don't make it about you. We're here to see the players. And that's such a great point that you make, because that is something that I have noticed a lot. And I'm glad that you brought up that point as well, because a lot of the games have, I would say, been getting out of hand in terms of sometimes stopping the game when it should be allowed to play on, and then allowing it to play on when we should obviously be blowing the whistle here. And that inconsistency is leading to, rash tackling and
Again, it comes to management. Bert. If the game is a soft game, you can allow little fouls because, and especially if I get fouled and I immediately want to play. So I want to play.
Correct.
Or I get fouled and I still going.
Yeah.
And my teammates, we want to play. So let the game flow. Unless it's a careful. You have to get that balance. Now, if the two teams are in, start again, then have to go for everything just to calm it down. So every little push, after a while they're going to say, hey, this guy look. So let me just play football.
True. So it's all about managing the game because every game is different.
So if the game finished and nobody remember who the referee was,
you did a great job. Great job. You did a great job. So just before we close out, I have just a few more questions for you. Right? So the first one I have is, if performance standards aren't met, are referees usually demoted? When I say demoted, not allowed to referee VSPL matches, Premier League matches, and have to go and referee tier 2.
We have a care system on the referees house.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's implemented at the end of the season.
Okay.
If it's drastic in the season, then we make the adjustment. But it's difficult at the pool we have to
separate
and they up to 8.
Understood.
What we try to do, we're trying to implement now every week to go over. Those are some of the.
That was some of the main.
Every go over, we look at the game, we tell them what they did right, what they did wrong.
Are the referees being evaluated internally after matches? And as a result of that evaluation or not, what improvement can teams, players, fans realistically expect as the season progresses?
But we hope that as things go by, that we'll have an improvement. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. Unfortunately, time constraints. We'd like to properly debrief probably after every game, but it's not possible. So we have our sessions on Mondays in which we go over these things, and hopefully by the weekend. So maybe in the next 2 weeks, you'll
have less things to talk about. Have less things to talk about. Okay, and last, final question. What message would you like to send to players, coaches, and supporters alike regarding respect for officials and understanding the laws of the game? Seeing the last question? Okay, Nika.
Okay, so it's about mutual respect. As I say, the referees are there to control the game, the players come to play. So players must play football, let the referee. And then the referee must referee and allow the players to play football. So one hand can't clap, let me put it that way. And also, we have to have this mutual respect. As I say, it's an emotional game. I guess with a level of maturity, these things could be worked out. I player also had hard conversation with referee, but with a respect. I think when you start to wave your hat in the air and something players do, ref may talk to you and I talk to the player. Well, I say, if you're abusive to spectators, your teammate, so you don't have to be talking to the referee.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. Okay, so Mr. Francois, we really want to thank you for your time, your insight, and your willingness to come on Global Sports from a Caribbean perspective and explain these decisions in a clear and educational way. This is exactly the type of conversation that Caribbean football needs. Transparency, understanding, and respect for all sides of the game, as you mentioned. We truly appreciate your contribution and we look forward to having you back on the show regularly as the season progresses. To everyone watching and listening, make sure to keep tuning in to Global Sports from a Caribbean perspective for match analysis, exclusive interviews, and in-depth coverage of the VSPL Soccer Premier League. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time here on Global Sports from a Caribbean perspective. One Global.